My name is Hannah. I was with Tom for 2 years. He was caring. He was there for me. But in all that time, he never once said those three important words. I lived in a small town. It was a quiet place. I liked quiet things. I worked in a little library. I loved books. Books had many words. Words like love, happy, and forever. Before Tom, my life was simple. I had my books. I had my cat, Whiskers. He was a fluffy orange cat. I was okay. But sometimes, late at night, I felt a little lonely. I wished for someone to share my days, someone to talk to, someone to hold my hand when the wind was cold. Then I met Tom. It was a sunny afternoon in spring. The flowers were blooming. I was in the park, sitting on a bench, reading my favorite book. He walked by with his dog, a friendly golden retriever. His dog ran to me. Tom smiled. He had a kind smile. His eyes were brown and gentle. He said, "Sorry about that. He loves people." I smiled back. I was usually shy, but I said, "It's okay. He's very cute." We started talking. It was easy to talk to him. He was calm. He was polite. His name was Tom. We started to see each other more after that day. We went for walks in the park. We went to small, cozy cafes. He always listened to me. He asked about my day at the library. He remembered small things about me. He remembered I liked extra sugar in my tea. He remembered my favorite flower was a daisy. These small things made my heart feel warm. It was a new feeling for me. Tom was very caring. If I was sad about something, he would sit with me. He didn't always talk much, but he was there. His presence was comforting. He would make me a cup of tea, or he would just hold my hand. His hands were strong and warm. I felt safe with him. When I was sick with a cold, he brought me soup. He made sure I took my medicine. He even read to me from one of my books. His voice was soft and calm. He was good to me. He was so good to me. We spent many happy days together. We laughed a lot. We shared our little secrets. We made plans for small trips to the countryside. He fixed the leaky tap in my kitchen. I was very bad at fixing things. He helped me plant flowers in my small garden. We planted yellow daisies. His actions were full of care, full of something that felt like love. I truly believed he felt it, but the words were missing. Those three important words. I love you. At first, I didn't notice it so much. I was very happy. I was floating on a cloud of new feelings. I thought to myself, he shows me he cares every day. His actions are so clear. That is enough. Some people don't say words easily. I understood that. Or I tried to understand. Months passed. 1 month, then 2 months, then 6 months. He still didn't say it. My birthday came. It was in October. The leaves were falling. He gave me a beautiful gift. It was a silver necklace. It had a small bird charm on it. I loved birds. He remembered that from a long conversation we had. He put the necklace around my neck. His fingers were gentle. He kissed my cheek. He said, "Happy birthday, Hannah." His eyes were soft and full of warmth. I waited. I held my breath. I hoped he would say the words then. It felt like the perfect moment, but he didn't. I smiled at him. I said, "Thank you, Tom. It's beautiful." But inside, a small part of me felt a little sad. Just a tiny bit. Another time, it was our first anniversary. 1 year together. I felt it was a special day. I made a special dinner. I cooked his favorite, chicken dish. He brought a bottle of nice wine. We lit candles on the table. It was very romantic. He held my hand across the table. He looked into my eyes. He said, "This year was good, Hannah. I'm very happy with you." I was happy too. My heart was full of joy. I thought, now. He will say it now. This is the moment. But the words did not come. He just smiled his kind, gentle smile. The silence after his sentence felt very loud to me that night. I pushed the feeling down. I told myself it was okay. I started to think about it more often. When we watched movies together, the couples in the movies said, "I love you all the time." When I read books from the library, the characters in love stories said, "I love you." It seemed so natural for them. My friends, they talked about their boyfriends. My friend Lucy, she was my best friend. She told me, "Oh, Mark said he loved me after only 1 month. It was so sweet." I cried. I smiled for Lucy. I was happy for her, but inside, I felt a small pain, a small question. Why didn't Tom say it to me? Was something wrong with me? Did I not deserve to hear those words? I tried to push these thoughts away. Tom was good. Tom was kind. Tom was here with me. That should be enough, right? I told myself this many times. One day I felt a little brave, or maybe I just felt too sad to keep it inside. We were sitting on the sofa in my living room. It was raining outside. A soft, gentle rain. Whiskers, my cat, was sleeping on my lap. He was purring loudly. I looked at Tom. He was reading a newspaper. I said, "Tom." He looked up from his paper. "Yes, Hannah." My heart was beating fast. I felt nervous. I said, Do you ever think about love?" He put down his newspaper. He looked at me carefully. He said, "Love is a big word, Hannah. What do you mean by that?" I felt a little silly. I didn't know what to say next. I just wonder sometimes, I said softly, looking down at Whiskers. He reached out and took my hand. His hand was warm, as always. "I care about you very much, Hannah. You know that, don't you?" I nodded. "Yes," I said. "I know you care." And that was it. He picked up his newspaper again. He started reading. I sat there, petting Whiskers. I knew he cared. His actions showed it every day. But care was not love. Not the word love. And I started to realize, deep in my heart, that maybe I needed the words too. It's funny, isn't it? how 3 small words can mean so much. I love you. Just 3 words. Some people say actions speak louder than words, and Tom's actions were very loud. They shouted his care. They shouted his support. But my heart, it wanted to hear the whisper of those words too. It longed for that sound. I remember one winter. It was very cold. I got very sick. I had a bad flu. I had to stay in bed for a whole week. Tom took amazing care of me. He cooked light soup for me. He brought me warm tea with honey. He made sure I took my medicine on time. He changed the cool cloth on my forehead when I had a fever. He stayed home from his work for 2 days, just to be with me. He read to me for hours. His voice was calm and soothing. It made me feel better. In those moments, when I was weak and tired, I felt so much warmth from him. I felt his deep affection. I looked into his eyes. They were full of worry for me, full of kindness. I thought, this is love. This must be love. He feels it. I know he does. But when I was better, when I could sit up in bed and smile again, the words were still not there. He never said, I was so worried because I love you, Hannah. He just said, I'm glad you're feeling better. You need to rest more. My friend Lucy visited me when I was getting better. She saw how Tom took care of me. She said, Hannah, Tom is a wonderful man. He really looks after you so well. Yes, I said. He is very good to me. I am lucky. Does he tell you he loves you? Lucy asked gently. She knew. I had talked to her a little about my feelings, my small sadness. I shook my head. A tear escaped my eye and rolled down my cheek. No, Lucy. He never says it. Lucy gave me a warm hug. Oh, Hannah. Why do you think that is? Have you asked him? I don't know, I whispered. I'm scared to ask him directly. What if he says he doesn't love me? Or what if he just doesn't understand why it's so important to me? I don't want to make him feel bad. Lucy said, maybe you need to tell him it's important to you. Men can be a bit slow with these things, you know. Sometimes they need clear signs. I thought about her words. Maybe she was right. Maybe I needed to be clearer with Tom. So I tried. Not in a big, dramatic way, but in small, gentle ways. One evening, we were watching a romantic movie. The man in the movie looked at the woman with so much love in his eyes. He told her, I love you more than words can say. I looked at Tom. I smiled. I said, that was so sweet, wasn't it? Very romantic. Tom nodded. Yes, a nice line for a movie. He didn't seem to think more about it. My heart sank a little. Did he not see what I was trying to say? Did he not understand my hint? Another time, I wrote him a little note. I put it in his lunch bag for work. I wrote, thank you for being so wonderful to me. I really appreciate you and all you do. I almost wrote I love you at the end. My hand hovered over the paper with the pen, but I stopped. If he didn't say it to me, Maybe he wasn't ready to hear it from me either. Or maybe I was just too scared of being the first one and not hearing it back. When he came home from work that day, he said, "Thank you for the note, Hannah. That was kind of you." Kind. He said it was kind, not loving, not romantic, just kind. Each time this happened, the small sadness inside me grew a little bigger. The 2 years passed like this, filled with his kindness, filled with his care, and filled with the silence of those 3 unspoken words. The silence grew heavier over time. It was like a small gray cloud that followed me around. Even on sunny days with Tom, when we were laughing and happy, the cloud was there in the back of my mind. I started to feel a distance between us, a distance made of unsaid things, of unmet needs. I started to doubt myself more and more. Maybe I was asking for too much. Maybe I should just be grateful for what I had. Tom was loyal. He was honest. He was a good partner in so many ways. Why did I fixate on these words? So many women would be happy to have a man like Tom. But I couldn't help it. My heart longed for them. It was a deep need inside me. A need to be verbally cherished. A need to hear the word love connected to my name from his lips. Sometimes, I would look at him when he wasn't looking, when he was reading his book or working in the garden, or even when he was sleeping beside me. I would look at his peaceful face, and I would whisper to myself, so quietly that even I could barely hear it, "Do you love me, Tom? Please just tell me." But he couldn't hear my silent pleas. He slept on, calm and unknowing. The lack of those words started to affect how I felt about his kind actions. Before, his kind actions made me feel warm and happy. Now, they sometimes made me feel sad, because each kind action was followed by that familiar silence. Each gesture of care was a reminder of the words he didn't say. It was confusing. My mind told me, "He is a good man, Hannah. He shows his love." But my heart whispered, "But does he truly love me? If he does, why can't he say it?" I remember we went to the beach one day. It was near the end of our 2nd year together. The summer was warm. The sun was setting. The sky was beautiful. It was painted with colors of orange, pink, and purple. We walked along the shore, hand in hand. The waves gently touched our feet. The sand was cool. Tom held my hand tightly. It felt nice. He stopped walking and looked at me. He smiled his gentle smile. For a moment, my heart jumped with hope. I thought, this is it. This is a perfect moment. He will say it now. He must feel it too. He said, "This is beautiful, isn't it, Hannah? I really like being here with you." "Yes, Tom," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "It's very beautiful. I like being here with you too. Very much." And that was all. We continued walking. The beautiful sunset suddenly felt a little less bright to me. The ache in my heart was stronger than before. I felt tears behind my eyes, but I blinked them away. I didn't want to spoil our walk. I knew something had to change. I couldn't keep living with this constant question mark in my heart. It wasn't fair to me. And maybe it wasn't fair to him either, if I was always feeling this unspoken disappointment, this secret sadness. I decided I had to talk to him properly. I had to be brave. I had to tell him exactly how I felt. I had to ask him the question directly, even if it was scary. I was so scared. Scared of his answer. Scared of what his answer might mean for us, for our future. But I was more scared of living like this, in this quiet sadness, for years and years to come. I planned it for a weekend, a Saturday, when we were both relaxed, when we had time to talk without rushing. No distractions. On Saturday morning, I made us breakfast. His favorite pancakes. We sat at the kitchen table. The sun was shining brightly through the window. Whiskers, my cat, was purring on his favorite chair nearby. It felt like a normal, happy day. But my heart was not normal. It was beating like a drum in my chest. After breakfast, I took a deep breath. My hands were a little shaky. "Tom," I began. My voice trembled a little. "Can we talk about something important?" He looked at me. His eyes were calm, as usual. He put down his coffee cup. "Of course, Hannah. What is it? You look serious." I twisted my fingers in my lap. "It's about us," I said. "It's about our feelings and how we show them." He waited. He was always patient with me. "Tom," I said, looking directly into his kind brown eyes now. "We have been together for 2 years, almost 2 whole years. And you are so good to me. You are kind, you are caring. I know you care about me. I feel it every day." He nodded slowly. "I do, Hannah. I care about you very much." "But," I continued, my voice getting softer, "in all this time, you've never said you love me." There, I said it. The words were out, the difficult, scary words. Tom looked down at his hands on the table. He was silent for a long time. The silence in the kitchen felt very heavy. It stretched on and on. I watched his face. He looked thoughtful, maybe a little sad. I couldn't read his expression clearly. Finally, he looked up at me. His eyes were serious. "Very serious, Hannah," he said, his voice soft and low. Words are hard for me sometimes, especially those words." "I know," I said. Or I thought maybe that was it. "But Tom, these words, I love you. They are important to me. I think I need to hear them. I need to know if you feel that for me." He sighed, a small, quiet sigh. It seemed to carry a lot of weight. "I show you how I feel, don't I? With what I do for you? I help you. I listen to you. I spend time with you. I thought that was enough for you." "It is a lot, Tom," I said, my voice gentle because I didn't want to sound like I was blaming him. "Your actions mean so much to me. They really do. But the words, they mean something special too. For me, they do. They confirm what I hope is true in my heart. They make me feel secure. They make me feel truly loved and cherished." He looked at me. There was a pain in his eyes that I hadn't seen there before. It made my heart hurt. I don't say those words easily, Hannah, he said. It's not about you. You are wonderful. It's about me. It comes from my past. It's difficult for me to say them. My heart ached for him. If he had a reason, a painful reason from his past, I wanted to understand. I wanted to be there for him. Can you tell me why it's difficult? I asked softly. I want to understand, Tom. Please. He hesitated for a moment. He looked out the window, then back at me. Then he said, when I was young, in my family, love was used like a weapon, or it was said without meaning. Words were said like, I love you, but the actions that followed were often cruel or neglectful. I love you didn't mean anything good to me as a child. It often meant that pain or disappointment was coming, so I learned not to trust those words very much. I learned to trust actions more. Actions felt more real to me. Tears welled up in my eyes as I listened to him, hearing his story, his pain. It explained so much. I reached across the table and gently took his hand. Oh, Tom, I said, my voice thick with emotion. I'm so sorry you went through that. That sounds like a terrible way to grow up. No child should experience that. He squeezed my hand. A small, sad smile touched his lips. So you see, Hannah, for me, saying I love you feels strange. It feels unnatural. It feels like I might be saying a lie, even when I feel something very strong and real inside. I try to show it in my actions. I really hope you feel it through what I do. I do. Feel your care, Tom, I said. I feel it very strongly. And thank you for telling me this. It helps me understand. It really does. We sat in silence for a while. My mind was trying to process everything he had told me. His past pain, my present need. It was a lot to take in. I understood him better now. Much, much better. But my need for those words, it didn't just disappear with his explanation. It was still there, a quiet ache in my heart. Tom, I said after a while, still holding his hand. Thank you again for sharing that with me. It means a lot that you trusted me enough to tell me. I understand it's very hard for you, but I also know what I need. And I don't know if I can be truly happy in the long term without hearing those words sometimes. Even if it's hard for you, knowing that it's so important to me, do you think you could ever try to say them? Maybe someday? He looked at me. His face was full of conflict. I could see him struggling inside. It was painful to watch. Hannah, he said slowly, choosing his words carefully. I don't know if I can change that part of me. It's so deep inside me. It's been there for so long. I don't want to make you a promise that I can't keep. I don't want to say words that don't feel true coming from my mouth, even if the feeling behind them is real and strong. His honesty was painful, It was like a gentle knife to my heart. But I appreciated it. He wasn't making excuses. He was telling me his truth, as hard as it was. Tears started to fall freely from my eyes now. I couldn't stop them. "So," I whispered, my voice breaking. You can't say you love me?" He looked down at our joined hands. "I care for you more than anyone I've ever known, Hannah. You make my life so much better. You are so important to me. I truly hope that can be enough for you." His words were kind. They were full of affection. I knew he meant them. But they were not, "I love you." And he was telling me in his own gentle way that they might never be. This was the moment of truth, the moment I had to make a decision. I loved Tom. I loved his kindness, his gentleness, his quiet support, but I also loved myself. And I knew, deep down, that I needed to be true to my own heart. I needed those words, not every day, not all the time, but sometimes. I needed that verbal reassurance, that confirmation of love. Living without it felt like living with a constant small hunger. A hunger for something that my partner, the man I cared so much for, couldn't or wouldn't give me. I cried. Not loudly, just quiet, heartbroken tears. Tom watched me, his face full of sadness and pain. He reached out with his other hand and gently wiped a tear from my cheek with his thumb. "I don't want to lose you, Hannah," he whispered, his voice thick with emotion. "I don't want to lose you either, Tom," I said through my tears. "But I don't want to lose myself. I don't want to spend my life trying to be okay with something that makes me feel sad and incomplete every day." We sat there for a long time, holding hands, our hearts heavy with unspoken grief. There were no easy answers, no simple solutions. The conversation didn't end there, of course. We talked more that day, and the next. We talked about his past. We talked about my needs. We were honest with each other. We were kind to each other. But the gap remained. The gap of those 3 unspoken words. A gap that felt too wide to cross. In the days that followed, I thought a lot. I replayed our conversation over and over in my mind. I thought about his pain. I thought about my own. Could I live with this? Could I truly be happy, knowing this part of me, this need for verbal love, would always feel unfulfilled? It was a very sad realization. Sometimes love is not enough. Sometimes 2 good people who care deeply for each other are just not right for each other in the ways that matter most to their individual hearts. After a week of deep thinking, of many tears, of long talks with Lucy, I knew what I had to do. It was the hardest decision of my life. My heart felt like it was breaking into a million tiny pieces. I sat down with Tom again. The air in the room felt heavy. "Tom," I said, my voice shaking, "I've thought a lot about everything, and I can't do this. I can't stay. I need a partner who can tell me they love me, who wants to tell me. It's not a small thing for me, Tom. It's essential for my happiness. And it's not your fault that you can't say it because of your past. And it's not my fault that I need to hear it. We are just different in this very important way. He closed his eyes for a moment. When he opened them, they were wet with unshed tears. I understand, Hannah, he said, his voice heavy with sadness. I wish I could be that person for you. I truly do. I wish you could too, I whispered, my own tears starting to fall again. And so, we decided to part ways. It was the saddest day of my life. Packing my things from the life we had shared for 2 years felt like tearing a piece of my heart out. There were many tears from both of us, many hugs. There was no anger between us, just a deep, profound sadness. A sadness for what we had and for what we couldn't have. He helped me carry my boxes to my car. Before I left, he stood by my car door and held both my hands. He looked into my eyes, his own full of pain. Hannah, he said, I want you to be happy. Truly happy. Find someone who can give you everything you need. You deserve that. You too, Tom, I said, my voice choked with tears. I hope you find peace and happiness in your own way. He didn't say, I love you. Not even then, at our goodbye. But in his eyes, I saw a deep affection, a deep regret. And I knew, in his own way, he did care for me. Immensely. Leaving him, driving away from our small town, from the life we had built, was incredibly hard. I cried for many weeks after that. I missed him terribly. I missed his kindness. I missed his presence in my life. I missed his gentle smile. But slowly, very slowly, I began to heal. I learned a lot from my time with Tom. I learned about kindness. I learned about support. I learned about how the pain of the past can shape a person, and I learned so much about myself. I learned what I truly need in a relationship to feel happy and secure. I learned that it's okay to have those needs. It's okay to ask for what you want. And sometimes it's okay to walk away, even from someone good, if your deepest emotional needs are not being met. It's an act of self-love. My story with Tom is a sad love story. It's sad because we cared for each other very much, but we couldn't make it work in the end. It's sad because of the words that were never spoken, but it's also a story of growth. I grew stronger. I learned to listen to my heart. I learned to voice my needs, even when it was difficult. I still believe in love. And I hope, one day, to find a love that is spoken. A love where actions and words dance together in harmony. For anyone listening who feels this way, who needs to hear those words of love, you are not alone. It's okay to want that. It's okay to feel sad if it's missing from your life. Your feelings are important. Your needs are important. Thank you for listening to my story. It's not a story with a perfect fairy tale happy ending, but it's a real story. And sometimes real stories, even the sad ones, are the ones that teach us the most. Keep being true to your heart. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to feel loved in all the ways that matter to you.